Hi, I'm Zen. Thank you for subscribing to my newsletter and thank you for reading my emails. A couple of weeks ago, I sent out an email asking you what you struggle with and to send me your questions, and that I would send out a video answering and supporting you. I received so many questions, and this is going to be a video series of me answering the questions and supporting you via video. Originally, I was going to send out videos personally, but I decided that I received so many emails and so many of the questions were similar that I would send the videos to everybody so everyone can benefit from them. The question that was asked the most was, why do I binge eat and why do I eat emotionally? So I could probably make an entire course on this. But for the purpose of this video, and I'm sure I will be talking about this more in other videos, I'm going to give you like an introduction to why do we binge eat and why do we eat emotionally. Let's start off with binge eating. So, the main reasons for binge eating are number one is being too hungry. If you are not eating enough and you go into a state of primal hunger, that will very often lead to either overeating or binge eating. Very often people criticize themselves for overeating, binge eating, but don't look at the cause. And most often, the cause is chaotic eating, undereating, not eating enough. That is going to lead to binge eating. So pay attention to your hunger. Eat enough during the day. Give yourself permission to eat, because even the person with the most control, if they are over hungry, there's a big chance that's going to lead to overeating and or binge eating. So that is hunger. It's purely physiological. Pay attention to your hunger and answer your hunger. The next reason why we binge is because of deprivation. When we feel deprived of certain foods, chances are we are going to binge on those foods. So the way to overcome that is to let go of your food rules, give yourself permission to eat what you want, allow all types of food so that you can reduce the frequency of deprivation-induced binge eating. Do not underestimate the effect of deprivation. The third reason we binge eat is because of willpower and control. The more we try and control our food, the more we try and like white knuckle it and have strict rules and willpower. For every restriction, it's equal and opposite binge. If you think back to your relationship with food, to rules, you will see that maybe you managed to cut out sugar or bread or carbs or something for a while. And then the minute you stopped that, you were probably overeating the foods that you restricted. So control leads to out of control with food. The more you try and control your food, the more out of control you're going to be with food. So the whole thing is about being flexible and letting go of control and really tuning into your body and letting your body guide you. The next reason why we binge is emotional. So as human beings, we are wired to seek comfort and avoid pain. So most of us haven't been taught how to deal with emotions. We have been taught to deny, suppress, hide, ignore our emotions. And what happens is these emotions, unpleasant emotions, and sometimes even pleasant emotions, bubble up. We don't know what to do with them. It's too scary. And so we numb them by using food, by binging, or we distract ourselves by using food. So we have a binge, and the binge then distracts us, puts us into a bit of a food coma. And then what happens is typically we will beat ourselves up after that. And so not only do we use the food to distract us from the emotion, but we also use beating ourselves up to distract us from the emotion. And then finally, linked to emotions is if you have a history of trauma. Binge eating, overeating is a way to soothe and deal with the trauma. And all of this can become habitual. So it becomes a coping response. And I say it's a coping tool, not a coping failure. If you think about it, from a very young age, we have been taught to soothe ourselves with food. If you think about it, when a baby is crying, typically what the caregivers, the mothers will do is to offer the baby milk, a bottle. And so from a young age, we associate food with soothing. So these are the main reasons why we binge. The most important thing about binging is to understand that it's not your fault, that you are trying to cope the best way you can, and to try and not blame and shame yourself and go into the shame spiral. The way through this is through understanding every binge is a cry for help. It's your way of trying to get your attention. So if you can bring curiosity to the binge instead of judgment and beating yourself up, that is going to be one of the first steps to healing. So awareness, curiosity, understanding why you do it. So stay tuned for more. There will be more on how to deal with binge eating and emotional eating. Thank you for watching.